Civic engagement means civic preparation. The work of colleges and universities in preparing undergraduates to be informed citizens of the city, the state, the country, or the world. We began the American Democracy Project out of a concern that increasing numbers of our citizens were opting out. We specifically were concerned about 18 to 25-year-olds. And so we are trying systematically to design a set of opportunities for students that will challenge them to say, what is my role as a citizen? How do I become engaged?
Western is located in South Central Kentucky. Most of our students did grow up in a very rural, small type atmosphere. It's very good for the university to bring a more national and global approach to teaching to them. My name is Karen Powell, and I teach biology at Western's Community College.
I'm Sarah McCaslin, and I coordinate the library skills component of our first-year program here at Western. In order to introduce students to the library, I assign a research paper minus the paper. What they have to do is take a topic and take it through the research process. Maybe give me some information about the author of that book or journal article, that type of thing. Section number 4 is your research terms.
My name is Suleiman Kiasapur, and I'm an assistant professor of political science. I teach American government and American studies at Western Kentucky University. I've never been to a national park.
The only national park I've ever visited was Mammoth Cave National Park, which is here in Kentucky and just a few miles from where I grew up.
The type of learning you do in the classroom is important, but it's much better if it can be supported by a field experience.
What are we doing here in Yellowstone National Park? Well, what we're here to do is to study controversy. Controversy about bison, about grizzlies, and about snowmobiles. The controversies over public land. And the core question is, how do you resolve those controversies in a democracy? We're trying to provide an experience for faculty and administrators here in Yellowstone that they then translate on their own campuses into programs for students. The ultimate goal of all of this is to help our students as undergraduates understand that in a democracy you cannot, as a citizen, be uninformed. You cannot be uninvolved. You cannot be uncaring about what happens.
We'll look at 5 different case studies over the next 2 days. The first is bison and brucellosis management. Yellowstone's bison are really charismatic creatures. They're sort of symbols of the Old West. What do you think, Sarah?
That's pretty neat. There's a bison right there. It's crossing the road. Very nice. It's actually walking down the road.
There's a traffic jam. Too many cars and not enough bison.
And moseying along like nobody was here, like he owned the place.
Bison carry brucellosis. It's a disease, harmless in them, but if they could transmit it to cattle, and it's at least technically possible under laboratory conditions, cattle will abort fetuses. Frustrating to many people is the fact that they control them at the park boundary. Control them means capture and send them to slaughter, usually. After all, cattle is in some ways still king in the West.
This is our visit to the headquarters of the Buffalo Field Campaign. I feel like I've been transported back to the 1960s to some kind of commune. They're a group that wants more foraging land for the Yellowstone bison. Their position has brought them into some conflict with the Montana Department of Livestock.
This past winter, like 1,200 buffalo came out on the north side and they killed 900 of them.
Because of their persistence, though, they've managed to get the governor's ear to get their voices heard.
Infected with brucellosis.
The long-term solution for this is still out of sight.
I don't trust these boardwalks.
They squeak.
It was great. We're back safe.
Great.
Can't wait till tomorrow morning.
Yeah, tomorrow morning is going to be fun. I hope we see wolves. I hope we see lots of wolves.
And a bear.
And a bear. Okay, well, there
And
you
I'll
go.
be happy.
Grizzly bears are certainly the animal, other than wolves, that is associated with Yellowstone National Park. Grizzly bear populations have been on the rebound, bringing them more and more into conflict with livestock, with sheep, and even with people who just live in some of our towns nearby. So consequently, the grizzly bear has been proposed for removal from the endangered species list.
I had 20 on that. I was going to go to higher power.
I got it up to 45, but it got
You lose a lot.
getting a little dark.
Really? Because I was at a different distance away.
Bear?
What? What did we say?
They said he's up there. There's a spindly tree. I don't know, honey. There's a spindly tree and then there's a fuller one.
The grizzly bear sighting makes the early morning alarm and the cold
Like,
worth
he's in
it.
front of like a little bit of a sage or
He's pretty magnificent.